Hello. Literally, last night I went to see Benedict Cumberbatch in Hamlet at the Barbican in London. There is the man himself, my goodness, yes. I have to be honest, I'm a bit of a cumberbatch rather than a cumberbitch. And I was enthused and excited that I managed to get hold of a ticket to see this. And right, so first of all, what I'll do is I'll give a quick review of what I thought of Hamlet, and then I'll give you a couple of hints as to if you're lucky enough to get a ticket and you're going to the Barbican, a few things when you get there. Literally, they very intelligently at the start of Hamlet instantly show you Benedict, because I think there's two issues here. You've got a load of people who are going to see Hamlet, Shakespeare, and they know it back to front, and they just wanting to see how it's presented, how it's been directed, how it's been produced, and that's good for them. But you're also going to have probably quite a large quantity of the audience who are going to be actually just there to see Benedict. So what they've done is Hamlet normally, it doesn't normally appear until about, I don't know, 10 minutes into most of the productions, where you've got most people going, the man's mad, he's mad, he's a fool, he's mad, I love him, he's mad, he's a fool. And then they bring in Hamlet and you go, oh, yeah, right, okay. But here, what they've done is, I think, instantaneously realised they didn't want to do that for like 10 minutes. And then Benedict strolls on, and you suddenly get a murmur across the audience of young ladies, and possibly men as well, who are all going, it's Benedict, Jesus, it's Benedict. They didn't want to do that. So what they do is, straight away, the first person you see on stage is Benedict Cumberbatch. The curtain raises, there he is, all his glory. So you can get it out of your system, I think, virtually straight away. And to be honest, the audience I saw it with, everybody just went, he's taller than I thought, I think. And yeah, looks good. It's looking good. Yeah, oh, it's Benedict Cumberbatch. And then that seems to have quelled any problems. I will say, if you are going, it is, you're in for a treat. It is brilliantly staged. It really is brilliantly staged. Jaw-droppingly so. I mean, the Barbican isn't like one of your old sort of theatres back in the day where it's called Blarney Gavna, and you're all sitting next to each other, crammed into little holes, all just watching a sort of stage the size of a beer mat with some actors going, and hello, Dolly, how are you? It wasn't. It was a massive stage, massive, almost to the point it was cavernous. You had doors would open and you could see corridors going into the distance. I don't know if that was smoke and mirrors or brilliance, but it was done beautifully. And I won't give too much of a game away, or will I? Because some people may not even get to see it, and they want to know what's going on. Literally, the photographs that have been shown of Benedict within Hamlet has been in a hoodie, and it's all sort of, you know, street and all that business that was sort of being said, but it's not. A lot of it's kind of very eloquent and royal and beautiful, but in a sort of fairy tale-esque way, where you have a table, a massive cascading staircase, stags' heads. It's almost like a Liberty advert, if I could say that. It's beautifully done. Anyway, I know nothing of what I'm talking about, so please just stay with me. It's beautiful. The review of Hamlet. Benedict Cumberbatch is stunningly good at this. I've been to see quite a bit of Shakespeare when I was younger and as I was getting older, and you sit there and literally somebody comes on and goes, this is to know that way, this is the fun, and now come back to me, love, oh yes, oh, winter rose, bah. And it literally sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher. After about 3 minutes, it's like, it's like, to be or not to be, and you start going, that's a nice chandelier, nice flower. What's the story? I haven't got a clue. Who's killing who? But Cumberbatch, it's almost like I'd had a stroke. I had had a stroke, and I could speak Mexican, because when he was doing the prose, he was just, you know, as though he was just, it sounded English. That sounds bizarre. I could actually get every nuance he was saying, and he did it brilliantly. It wasn't a performance. It was almost like he was having a conversation. Whereas the downfall of it is Benedict, brilliant, and you're just, every time he's not on stage, you're just going, where's Benedict? God, bring back Benedict. And that's unfortunate for the cast, because I think I saw Peter O'Toole in Man and Superman, and it was a similar thing. Benedict Cumberbatch, Peter O'Toole, they are brilliant actors who can make the word come off the page sound like, oh, angels screams in the night. It's beautiful and it's lovely to listen to. The downfall is when you have the young actor or older actor who's very Shakespearean, and he instantly, unfortunately, can't keep up with Benedict, and it begins to be his part then goes into Charlie Brown's Teacher, where literally Benedict has gone beautifully into the part where he's basically completely and utterly mad as a hatter, but funny as well. He really is very funny as well. But the other guys who the best way to describe it is if you've been to some crap comedy a night where you've been to an open mic and the first guy comes on or girl comes on and they knock it out of the park. You laugh your pants off. You think, they are brilliant. They should be stars. They're fantastic. And then the next one comes on. Next one comes on. Next one comes on. You're really just going, God, I wish I could have a pint. And then the headline act comes on and you wonder, how did he become a headline act? And unfortunately, that I'm probably doing them a massive injustice, because it's not their fault, I don't think. I think it's because Cumberbatch is so good that he leaves everybody else standing, and that's my basic review of Hamlet. It is, if you can get a ticket, beg, steal or borrow it. Now, handy hints. The actual production starts at 7:15. I think that's Monday to Saturday, 7:15 at the Barbican. It's not in the West End of London, so if you're geographically don't know your London, it's a bit more of a tube hike to wherever you're going. Normally you would go to the West End, and they're normally up on Shaftesbury Avenue, the Haymarket, that sort of area, Victoria, and it's all kind of, you just get out, run for a taxi, bang. This, you've got to work out whether or not you can get home, because it is dead bang in the city. There aren't good tube links. Taxis are okay as well, but it is going to be busy afterwards when everybody's coming out. It's an hour and 50 for the first act, 20 minutes break, then you go back in for another 55 minutes. So you're not really clearing base or getting up after you've done your standing ovation and loving Benedict till about 10:30, even maybe a bit more than that. And then remember, you've got to get out from the Barbican base itself, which is a little bit similar to like a mini Olympic city, where you have to actually get out and find your way to the main streets before you can get yourself a taxi or get to the tubes. So that's a hint. The other thing is, ladies, don't drink anything. Even if you're there with Antonio Banderas and he's saying, please, why don't you have some wonderful champagne? Don't have any, because literally, because it's a sellout audience, the toilets are crap. They are limited beyond belief. My wife had to queue for 10 minutes at one point. That is a real problem they've got there. They haven't really got it designed, and they've got two little disabled toilets, and the little queue that was coming out of that disabled toilets, I think you could basically have said, it was a bit like, you know, when you go to the supermarket and you see people getting into disabled bays and you're going, they're not disabled, and it's that horrible inside thought, you're saying, they're not disabled, why am I standing in this queue, why am they standing in this queue? Unless they had lots of hidden disabilities. You had a lot of the young ladies in ball gowns who just were basically into the disabled toilets, while you had poor people there in wheelchairs and sticks all going, hang on a second. So my advice would be, if you can, go to the toilet at a bit where Benedict's not on or something, because the seats are beautiful. You've got loads of leg room. It's very easy to get out. And programs, I think they're about £8.50. So it's £8.50 for one of these. I think they're exchanging hands on eBay for about 24 quid. But they're about £8.50. It's lovely. I mean, it really is. It's got, you know, loads of your Benedicty stuff in here, and you know, it does tell a good time. But it's £8.50. Bag of jelly babies, £3. God, I could get IVF for a jelly baby for cheaper than that. Anyway, listen, I'm going to love and leave you because I've been on far too long. It is great. It is fantastic. I'm still there with images of everything that went on. It's brilliantly done. Don't get me wrong. And if you are a Benedict Cumberbatch fan, you just are going to be in seventh heaven. And it's not what everybody said. There's a lot of people going, he's just playing the usual mad genius like he is in Sherlock Holmes. Bollocks! He is actually playing a very, very proficient Hamlet, brilliantly done, and he just blows everybody else out of the park. And my God, he's funny as well. And look for when he's on the table doing a sort of mimicry soldier where he's using a funny accent. He does, and I'm quite sure of it, and he knows he's doing it, breaks into his famous impression of Alan Rickman. Oh, Mr. See you later. Bye-bye.